Hello, this is Tim Fox. I'm going to demonstrate Project 3 using PowerShell for class SAT 3511. The grading criteria for this project is below, labeled 1 through 6. I will be covering each one of those in detail. The only change I've made to both forests is on the SAT 3511 fox.com. Under that, you'll see Workstation 1 is now the CA. And I will be demonstrating that when I demonstrate the circular program. Here I'm on LA1, which is my server, and I am going to demonstrate the circular program. And here it tells me that the file's been tampered with. So it tells me I need to look at my execution policy. And it tells me they all have to be signed. So somebody's tampered with my signed file. Well, let me look at it. And here I've created a program called CertMaker. This lists the contents of my current directory and allows me to sign any one of the scripts that I've created. So that was circular, and now it's signed. If I go back over to LA1 and execute it again, it runs. Okay, the first length I'm going to try is 2. And here it tells me the area of the circle. Let's do it again with 2.3. A couple more times with 5. And then the last time with some random number. The area is really big for that number. Well, I'm done with the circular program. Okay, so that covers the first one. The second one is the event ID program. First, I will demonstrate with an event. So back on LA1, I will execute Event Maker. Event Maker will list the different logs. Let's look at the application log, and let's look for event ID 1003. There's the event ID. Now it asks me the file name to save the log to. I'll just give it some random name. In practice, you'll want to actually give it a standard name. And now it tells me where it can be retrieved at. Well, let's look at that before I continue on. And here's what I just created. And I can just look at this, and there is the event log. It created it successfully. Let's display another. This time, let's display something in Active Directory. And let's give it that ID, 1202. Here it tells me the event, and it asks me what I want to save it as. just give it some random name. And let's go over there and look at that. Here you can see it just created working log. The original scope for this particular um, project only called for just writing one script to call for one log, and that was it. But I wanted to create the script a little more dynamic. So you can see that I've created the menu system, which I've demonstrated works when it finds something successfully. And then if it doesn't find something successfully, just type some random numbers there, it tells me the log doesn't exist. So I've demonstrated that it works in both instances. Okay, I'm done with this. And it gives a departing message. Okay, now I've covered number 2. So now I'm going to cover, oh, I have my numbers wrong. We'll call it number 4, where this is going to demonstrate importing a CSV file into the Active Directory database that contains new users. So let's go to that now. On the server, you will see I'm in the project 3 OU container, and I will refresh it, and there's nobody there. I've created a script called user import. Now this isn't dynamic, it's just a static script, but it's perfect. It tells me what users have been added, and it tells me how many have been added. Now I will go back to the project 3 OU container, refresh it, and here's the users. I'll just click a user. Here we can see the information has populated successfully, including email. If I go to a couple more tabs here, let's see, successfully has populated the logon name. I'll do one more. Here's another user. Same information. I've also added a note when it was created, by whom it was created. There's the last one I will show. Same thing here. All the account informations will have that in there. Okay, I've demonstrated that it can successfully import users with my script. Let's go back to our diagram. Now I will log in as a newly created user. In the previous project, I demonstrated adding a forest with cross forest truss. So I will be using workstation H1 to log in as. I don't want to log off workstation 1, so I'm just going to leave that one alone. log into the SAT3511fox.com domain, my username, and then my password. And now we see Windows is thinking about it. And it's successful. It's preparing my desktop. Great. As soon as that's logged in, I'll move on to the next section. And here we go. So it has successfully completed that. So now on to number 5. Get the domain information. So here I've created a script that will do just that. Back on server LA1, I've created a script called stat1. Again, this is just a static script, but here it tells the domain that it's populated for, and then of course the 3 different numbers it was looking for. 21 user accounts are on my domain. 13 were created before today. 8 was created after and on today. And then that's it. And the last one is going to be showing log files. And I will explain that in just a moment. So here's my script, dir log. It's asking me what phrase I want to search the logs for. So I'm going to pick warning. Now it tells me it's going to look for all log files that contain the word warning in my Windows directory. Okay, here are my log files. It tells me how many they are, what the names of them are, and the group they belong to. And then it tells me the total number of warnings. And then at the end it tells the author. If I run that script again, I can do different criteria. Let's look at the critical logs. And there we go. It tells the same amount of information, but this time for the logs that contain the word critical. So this script is a dynamic script. Okay, well that concludes project 3 using PowerShell. I do want to say that this project did take a while. There was a lot of programming involved. A lot of this stuff can be transplanted into real-world servers, and I did use a lot of various sources from the internet, and I will be posting those links in the description below.